Hello, I'm Danny de Hek, aka the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. This is not just another YouTube Live, this is a public service announcement. Because when a man like Azneem Bilwani, who has been sanctioned by the United States Patent and Trademark offices and named by Pakistani FIA in the country's largest ever money laundering case, sends a journalist in New Zealand, me, a threatening cease and desist letter, you better believe we're going to make it public. They told me the letter was not for publication. I say too bad. You don't get to bully victims into silence. You don't get to hide behind lawyers when there are thousands of people whose lives you've damaged through a global scam operation disguised as a software empire. This is not defamation. This is documentation. We're going to walk you through the letter they didn't want you to see, point by point, and respond with cold, hard evidence. So let's make it crystal clear, Mr. Bilwani and his legal team and the global scam network that behind false websites and front companies. You've picked the fight with the wrong person. If you take this to the New Zealand High Court, you'll be opening Pandora's box as far as your client's concerned. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at reading, but I really wanted to read this. You want legal discovery across the world? Let's go. You want exposure? You've got it. To the victims watching, this is your moment. To the insiders still working at Intersys, I can't even read the word. Let's have a go. See if this. Yes, you have an opportunity to make a huge difference. I'm Danny de Hek, the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger, and I'm not here to back down when people try to silence the truth. So let's get into this letter and let's see what a company who tries to silence the truth is about to unravel. I hope you like my graphics. My Avengers should be in the room, in the chat room. If you post any comments, they will come up on the screen. This is as live and as raw as you get. Most people wouldn't reply to a cease and desist letter live on the internet, but this isn't my first rodeo, and this is not the first time that I've been threatened to go to the New Zealand High Court. Last time, they chickened out an hour and a half before the High Court judge got to open the file. And we won the battle because these people who run these scams don't want what we're about to show you public. You will never find as much information about Intersys as you're about to read in the cease and desist letter. I'm just trying to position my screen so I can fit it all in nicely so you can read along. So excuse me, I've just noticed there's something not going quite right. I want to read this word for word, and I'm not really going to deviate too much, but I want you to feel like you can be involved. Now, if you want to read their cease and desist letter, this is the letter that we actually received, and it's private and confidential, not for publication. Oops, it's been publicized. Through here, we have answered every single question, every single accusation they have made, we have answered it. And they have told us with this 169-page cease and desist letter to remove the content or else. Well, a lot's happened since then. We did lose our LinkedIn profile for a small period of time, but we have amazing people that have put my LinkedIn profile back online. And also my website had been removed, but now is hosted and protected by Google services. So that means the content that you're about to read is not coming off the internet unless you do actually go to the New Zealand High Court and win a case. But this information that we're about to go through literally is telling you that you don't have a shit show in hell. Now, I'm not going to read it, but you can read along with me.
If you've been following my investigative exposes lately, you'll know that life as an investigative journalist shining a spotlight on organized crime is rarely dull. In fact, things recently took an especially amusing turn when I received a letter from a law firm in New Zealand, Martelli McKegg. Their demand, an apology and retraction for exposing none other than Azneem Bilwani, head of Intersys, Abtach, and a whole bunch of other large firms in Pakistan. And add to that, they insisted I pay his legal costs.
Well, last time I got awarded the legal fees. Just saying.
I guess the truth tends to sting, especially when your client allegedly has the FBI, Homeland Security, Office of Inspector General, IRS, D, and the Pakistan fear breathing down his neck.
My nature is to comment on every paragraph, but in this particular case, I'm going to stick to my blog, and the blog is there for everyone to read. So I'll put the link to the blog in the script of this video, and you can go along and read along with me if you like. But listen to the words, because there's months and months and months of research that's gone into this reply, and we'll use this in the courtroom if we have to.
Keep reading for information about Azneem Bilwani, Majid Hassan, Muhammad Sadiq Bal, Maria Siddiqui and Hassan Amin, Uraib Bilwani, Aram Bilwani, and more.
And I forgot to say good morning to my friends in Pakistan. I realize it's morning time there. Here it's actually 2:45 in the afternoon. So who exactly is Azneem Bilwani? I can't get his name right. I'm not going to pronounce it right, so you can read it right if you want.
So, who exactly is Azneem Bilwani? For the uninitiated, Azneem Bilwani is not your ordinary entrepreneur. He allegedly sits atop a large transnational organized criminal empire that includes Abtach Ltd, Intersys, and the infamously indicted eWorldTrade LLC, companies that authorities from Karachi to Dallas allegedly believe are involved in international fraud, drug trafficking, and some truly audacious large-scale scams. Think hundreds of thousands of dollars scammed from single victims. Just to give you a quick snapshot of Azneem's handiwork.
This is just a little bit of the information that we have, but you'll certainly get the idea.
eWorldTrade LLC, indicted by the US Department of Justice for trafficking fentanyl analogues. Yes, that fentanyl, responsible for countless tragedies across North America. Abtach Ltd, sanctioned by the United States Patent and Trademark Office for an egregious scheme to deceive and defraud trademark applicants. Forgery and impersonation. Check. Intersys Ltd, formerly known as Abtach, now rebranded to shake off its murky past. Spoiler, it didn't work. Intermarket Securities, one of Pakistan's largest investment banks and brokerage companies, which also runs eWorldTrade. Supernet Technologies Limited.
So, yeah, I'm not... I want to say things, but I want to read and stick to the script. Stay focused. We're going to carry on, but make sure you're listening to this. Get yourself a cup of tea. Pause the video if you need to, but listen to the information we're fully exposing. Azneem Bilwani. Hopefully I'm saying that right.
The legal threat and its chilling effect. Back to the letter from Martelli McKegg. Lawyer Anthony W. Johnson, aka Tony Johnson, dutifully demanded I cease publishing defamatory statements about their client. Ironically, they insisted Bilwani had nothing to do with eWorldTrade, despite clear evidence he's personally registered its trademark and owned the domain name eWorldTrade.com. Based on leaked domain hoist registrant information as exposed by Brian Krebs. And best of all, the law firm said that eWorldTrade is owned by Abdulaziz Seema. This is a big deal. Azneem Bilwani just put one of his front people in the fix for a major drug trafficking case. Folks, let's pause here. Imagine claiming to have absolutely no connection to a company, while owning its trademark and its domain name. This just keeps getting better and better.
And Brian
Krebs
is the first person that actually broke any, one of the first persons that broke, he's a journalist, and he's also published articles about this where I've got a lot of my information from. Well, not a lot, but some of my information. So yeah, so imagine that. There's no point me reiterating what you've just heard, but a guy that claims he does not own a company owns the trademark. That's just incredible in itself. Right, so let's just read the first couple of paragraphs.
The cast of characters, aka Bilwani's employees, and co-conspirators. Azneem doesn't work alone. His empire requires help. Here's a quick who's who.
Right, so let's go through the name and shame list, as Danny de Hek, aka the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger, always says. He's here to name and shame anyone running or promoting a Ponzi scheme or a scam. So let's listen to the names.
Salman Yusuf, infamous for a bizarre confession letter, likely coerced, admitting to orchestrating bank fraud, identity theft, and several other crimes in conjunction with Asbab Nusima.
Goodness me, everyone's got a criminal record, have they?
Isa Faruqi, a key player in the alleged criminal scheme.
All right.
Mohammed Sadiq Bal, CEO of Intersys, and, curiously, featured prominently in eWorldTrade branding. Oops.
Sorry. I mean, it's actually comical what we've discovered in our research and the intel that we've received. You would not believe it.
Shamiz Karim and Binish Karim Dossani, Texas-based family friends handling money and setting up many companies.
Oops.
Yusra Wahid, established Quick Digit Solutions LLC, used as a payment channel in the USA.
Now, there's more below, so we need to keep reading, but we've just turned the car on here, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing 1,000 revs. We've got so much information here, we're going to fully condemn this company.
These are just a few names from a sprawling network.
Right, so let's have a listen to about the scam universe.
Bilwani's scam universe. Abtach and Intersys advertise seemingly legit services, web design, trademarks, digital marketing. Behind these facades, they fleece thousands globally. Some notorious scam websites linked to their operations include fastestvpn.com, Trademark personally by Bilwani, ironically, Quick Digit Solutions LLC, Deceptively Innocent, Anything But Legitimate 360 Digi Marketing Limited, family-run UK front, involving Bilwani's son and wife, talk about keeping it all in the family.
Yeah, I'm not going to go on about the scams and how they operate, but some things, if you have gone and watched my other videos about this, you'll know what I'm talking about. But they provide a whole array of digital services to people, and it's all centered around ghostwriting people's books for them and then offering additional services around. So these other companies that we have listed may not necessarily be providing ghostwriting services, but they'll have other services that are all tapped onto the side of this scam. So let's read the first. We'll read those two paragraphs together. We've got a lot of reading to go on here, but if you want some information, go to the link of the blog, read it yourself, or listen up. This is going to be breathtaking. Well, this is
my personal favorite, the bizarre Texas lawsuit. A highlight of this saga is the comically bizarre lawsuit in Texas filed by Asbabanu Abdulaziz Seema, wife of Abdulaziz Seema, Bilwani's trusted frontman. Her lawyer, Ali A. Hakim, who's, you guessed it, also connected directly to Bilwani's business ventures. The lawsuit's centerpiece, that aforementioned forced confession by Salman Yusuf, dramatically written on Pakistani stamp paper, begging forgiveness while trembling at the thought of his sins. Honestly, Netflix, where are you?
Yeah, so I've got those documents there. You can click on them and you can go and read them, and you can read the findings. So everything here is, we've got the receipts. So we've got the exhibits, and, we've got everything. So if you're reading this blog, if you want this blog, it's on my website that's backed by Google, and you can come here, click and download to your heart's content. It's not made up mumbo jumbo. We have the receipts for all the claims that we've made, and we're not stopping here. We're just getting started.
Why Bilwani wants me silenced. So why is Bilwani, through pricey Kiwi attorneys, trying to silence a humble investigative journalist thousands of miles away? Because his empire is crumbling, FBI raids, fiat bribery charges, and custom seizures, every bit of light shone accelerates the unraveling of his scam empire.
Yeah, he wants me silenced. He's got the money. And dealing with New Zealand lawyers is a lot different, I assume, than dealing with Pakistani lawyers and judges. You can't bribe our judges. I'm not saying you're going to bribe them, but, just telling you.
My response to Azneem's legal threat: bring it on. So, Azneem Bilwani and his esteemed counsel in New Zealand, let me clarify something. I will not retract the truth. I will not apologize for investigative journalism. If you do proceed with your hollow threats, expect meticulous, evidence-backed exposés flooding into the New Zealand courts. Your attempts to silence me only amplify the truth, and my resolve.
Yeah, it's not my first rodeo. Done this. I know how it works. And if you report the truth, you've got nothing to worry about. Just saying. But anyway, let's carry on. I've listened to this, I've read this, and, it just amazes me how people can claim that they claim defamation. Evidence speaks for itself.
To the readers and victims, keep reading. There's much more to uncover, and as always, if you have tips or evidence on Bilwani's operations, you know where to find me. Your anonymity is assured. Remember, truth isn't defamation, it's just inconvenient for scammers. Attention! D. Shadamasibi and Anthony W. Johnson representing Azneem Bilwani Fentanyl, analog trafficking and scams, defamation response. Mr. Shadamasibi and Mr. Anthony W. Johnson.
Just incredible. Yeah, so you can go to dehek.com. I've got more social media than you can poke a stick at. I'm easy to approachable. Get any information that you want to add to this or back this up. We want the receipts. We want more receipts. Give it to us. We'll listen to everybody. Reach out to us on LinkedIn. Find me on WhatsApp. Don't be a stranger. You're more than welcome. Friends of Pakistan, we're here to help fight your battles for you.
We acknowledge receipt of your letter dated the 19th of June, 2025, Ref. DXS 311,940-168-1 from Martelli McKegg, in which you demand that we retract and apologize for our reporting on your client, Mr. Azneem Bilwani. We believe Mr. Bilwani to be a significant transnational organized crime figure who has been indicted by the U.S. Department of Justice for fentanyl analog trafficking through his company, eWorldTrade. After careful consideration of the allegations presented, we categorically reject the assertion that our publications are false or defamatory.
Yep, so as I pointed out at the start, we have got this letter here, private and confidential, not for publication. And you can see they've gone through and written pretty extensive letter. It's not my, I've actually received 4 cease and desist letters in the last 2 weeks, would you believe? And to be honest, it's not that good, that one. And especially, anyway, I've just got to stay on target. I mean, I do this for a living, guys. And when you get cease and desist letters from people claiming they're innocent.
Our investigative work, LinkedIn posts, and broadcasts concerning Mr. Bilwani address matters of substantial public interest and are based on verifiable source material, including the Federal Investigation Agency Fair Charge Sheet naming Mr. All statements were made following thorough inquiry and are either truthful, honest opinions, or fair and accurate reports of official proceedings based on the available information at the time of publication.
Yep. So we don't make shit up. Just saying.
Our publications address matters of considerable public concern and are grounded in primary source material, including
here we go.
Fair Charge Sheet, Inquiry Number 560/2020 Furno, for CCR Key Fur 9, 2021, 3687, which lists Azneem Bilwani among the names of individuals under investigation for orchestrating an international web design and trademark filing fraud involving blackmail and extortion.
Oops.
Pakistani prosecutors have described this case as the biggest money laundering case in the history of Pakistan, noting its involvement with numerous shell companies and overseas payment channels.
We've got over 1,000 domain names of websites.
To ensure completeness, we note that the High Court of Sindh, Karachi, has already recorded in CR Bail Application 859/2021 that.
Just like to welcome Rob and Susie to the chat room. Nice to see you guys. Sorry, I haven't been doing many lives lately. I've been preparing this reply to another cease and desist letter. This one's a goodie, though. I'm sure you, my Avengers, will enjoy this one. Thank you so much for your support and help.
And Fear Inquiry, number 560/2020, alleges the payment of PK of 14 million in bribes to senior FIA officers to extend undue favour to MS Abtach Pvt. Limited, a company under the beneficial control of Mr. Bilwani.
Mr. Bilwani's a busy little man. Especially if somebody isn't, I won't say, but anyway, I'll just keep reading the script.
The same inquiry describes Abtach, as well as other unrelated companies, using a similar modus operandi as international scammers, involved in harassment, fraudulent activities, identity theft, impersonation, cheating, extortion, and tarnishing the image of Pakistan.
Wow. Yeah, sorry, I shouldn't be wowing my own blog.
These serious allegations were deemed heinous by the court, which also acknowledged the ongoing money laundering investigations, despite the grant of conditional bail to Anfia officer Abdul Ghaffar, who is accused of receiving the bribe.
Wow. Yeah.
Abtach's use of front individuals and shell entities is also documented in U.S. litigation. A civil fraud complaint filed in the Southern District of Texas describes how an Abtach employee, Salman Yusuf, induced a U.S. citizen, Asbabanu Abdulaziz Seema, wife of Abdulaziz Seema, whom you claim is the actual owner of eWorldTrade, to act as a front for 2 Delaware-registered marketing agencies. This allowed Abtach to replicate its Pakistan-based scheme within the United States, highlighting a systematic structure involving front individuals setting up corporate entities in America to carry out these activities.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys are listening to the words, but this is breathtaking stuff and great investigation. Also, welcome to Queen of Karma. Nice to see you here. Haven't had a chance to pop in and say good day to you lately, so it's nice to see you here. And also, MCAR, you're always welcome here. This is the biggest blog I've ever written. This is the most information I've ever provided about one individual who is trying to get this information off the internet. And now we've got it on a platform protected by Google, which I believe is a pretty amazing thing. So this information is exposing him and his companies, and we'll stand up to him for the people of Pakistani who have been used and abused. And that's what we're doing this video for.
We maintain that our publications are accurate, supported by verifiable evidence, and made in the public interest.
And I'm just the messenger. And isn't that ironic that these companies go after the reporters, the people who are making the findings public?
We would also add that the highly unusual case filed by Asbabanu Abdulaziz Seema, wife of Abdulaziz Seema, was brought by Ali A. Hakim of Sowell, Walls and Powell PLLC in Texas. Ali A. Hakim and this firm have a history of representing your client, Mr. Azneem Bilwani, in several matters, some of which we will highlight throughout our response.
Just thinking too, if you can share this video, share my blog, on LinkedIn especially, share it to as many places as you can, because they are trying to get this information off the internet. What you're about to listen to is breathtaking. If you're working in one of these software houses, then you need to share this information. We need to make a difference, and we are making a difference, and we need to act now. Share this video, share this blog, get this out to the masses. The more exposure we can get, the better, and we need your help.
In that same case, Mr. Salman Yusuf produced an extraordinary, notarized confession, executed on Pakistani stamp paper, in which he admits that he utilized company resources for his personal gains, formed parallel companies in the US, and involved additional Abtach staff, Isa Faruqui, to impersonate Asbabanu Abdulaziz Seema to engage in bank fraud and conceal the operation. Mr. Yusuf presents this letter as a voluntary act of contrition, yet its language, I tremble at the thought of writing this letter. I hand over the proceeds of my unlawful activities to you, is so self-incriminating and hyperbolic that its authenticity and provenance raise significant questions for any court. The confession also names Shoaib Ahmed Sheikh, the founder and CEO of Axact. We have deduced that this confession was likely written under duress, at the direction of your client, Mr. Bilwani.
And ironically, just a wee side note, Mr. Bilwani checked out my LinkedIn profile today, which is quite good, but we've got spies who let us know these things, so that was quite funny. And the lawsuit that we talked about.
Link here for lawsuit Asbabanu Abdulaziz Seema versus Salman Yusuf case, and the likely coerced confession letter by Salman Yusuf.
So you can see we've got all the documents, the receipts of the court cases that have been going on in the past, so you can check those out. Let's have a listen and see what's happened here.
Taken together, the US pleadings and this confession corroborate a pattern of scalable fraud conducted through nominee directors and money mule structures. Your letter, by contrast, omits these materials entirely while accusing us of having no evidence. We also highlight the following key facts.
All right, so here we go. So now we're getting into some good stuff.
In November 2021, the United States Patent and Trademark Office issued a show-cause order accusing Abtach executives of an egregious scheme to deceive and defraud trademark applicants, including forging USPTO documents and impersonating the agency. Abtach, directed by Mr. Bilwani, who is personally named by the USPTO, was subsequently banned from further practice before the USPTO.
Yeah, incoming intel. Thanks, Queen of Karma. Alrighty, so carry on. Whoops.
USPTO registration records show that the eWorldTrade registered sign mark is owned by Azneem Bilwani of Karachi, which directly contradicts your claim that he has no relationship with eWorldTrade. If Mr. Bilwani has no direct or indirect connection to eWorldTrade, the company indicted by the US Department of Justice for trafficking dangerous narcotics, including analogues of fentanyl, why would he be the owner of the trademark for eWorldTrade?
Good point, eh? Just remember, this is my reply to the letter, 169-page letter from a New Zealand not law company, but from a New Zealand lawyer. And we're going to make them watch this video so they can see the people they're working for. Because I know last time this happened to me, I tried to warn the lawyers about who they were actually working for. Now, I don't know about you guys, but these guys that we're taking on are quite big in the world of whatever they're doing. You can draw your own conclusions. And if I was a lawyer representing this company and I knew this information, I might think twice.
We also note that the email address listed on the trademark application for eWorldTrade under secondary email address, ES courtesy copies, is ali@hakimlaw.com, which is the professional email used by Ali A. Hakim in Texas.
Oh, what does that tell you then?
Your client was exposed as the owner of eWorldTrade.com domain name, the same domain name, that was seized by Homeland Security Investigations. The respected security investigator Brian Krebs wrote about this.
Right, so this domain name has been seized. I mean, these are the people are claiming they're innocent, and they're claiming that I have defamed them. This is the article by Brian Krebs, and it talks about everything. So all the links are in the article that we're reading. We're not hiding it all. Quite exciting.
Your letter itself contains multiple factual errors and misrepresentations. For the court's convenience, and without waiving any rights, we have included, in the attached schedule, a point-by-point response correcting your inaccuracies.
Not many times when you go and help the lawyer out, is there? But we're willing to do that. The Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger and his team of Avengers are here to help. But listen, but we're highlighting the blog speaks for itself.
In light of the facts set forth, we decline your demands to remove content, publish the suggested apology, or remit your client's legal costs. Should Mr. Bilwani nevertheless initiate proceedings in New Zealand, we will defend the matter vigorously, and will rely on the statutory defences of truth, honest opinion, and responsible communication under the Defamation Act 1992. Please ensure that all documents relevant to the issues raised, particularly those relating to eWorldTrade LLC, and your client's discussions about it, communications between Abdul Aziz Seema and your client's representatives, the FIA investigation, management documents having to do with Abtach, Intersys, and intermarket securities, personal tax records of your client and his immediate family, are preserved for disclosure.
Right. And also, this is quite important.
I'd like to add that I've found several new scam websites I believe are being run by your client.
Yeah, so I'm just going to open a few of these. I'm not going to open them all. And to be honest, there might be a few 404 errors. But these are just, we have receipts of 1,000 websites that have been set up to basically lure people into investing with these companies to get themselves potentially a book written, to get their trademark done. And I've just gone crazy here and just opened up a few. And if you didn't know any better, you would, think these companies, well, you can even tell that these websites that you're looking at have the same sort of, they're all branded out, right? You can go through, read them. They're all pretty professional. They all have live support. They all have advertising behind them, but I won't get into that conversation. But if I were looking at these websites at a glance and I line them all up like cookies, I would say they're all being developed by either very similar or the same website development companies. And these are what are out there on the internet at the moment, encouraging you to reach out to them and ask them. Now, I've currently got correspondence going on with one of these companies because I'm doing a bit of a research and development on how they correspond with you. There's one that's down, wikipublisher.com. But you get the idea. Companies that are set up to create logos, people to help you with your trademark. Another one down that is amazonpublishingpro.com. And there's that one there. That's interesting. That's Amazon Book Publishing. Some of these domain names have actually been taken. Amazon have actually got caught and gone to court and won cases where they're passing off their name. So it's absolutely incredible. But I didn't open up all those domain names. And as I said, we have over 1,000 of these websites that they've set up. So I won't go through that and bore you with any more information, but you get the idea. So that's the type of websites that they've set up. And also they are literally promoting all those with Google AdWords and the like, and other probably Facebook pages. So if you went to one of those websites, you'll probably find that that they will follow you around the internet with the remarketing that AdWords do and entice you to sign up or put that idea in your head that you need to get your book written. Don't do it. Just saying. I'll help you write your book.
Front companies I believe your client is using to run massive fraud campaigns: 360 Digital Marketing LLC, Vertical Minds LLC, Creative Ink Labs Incorporated, Innovixis Solutions LLC, Retrocube Labs LLC, Max Mind Tech LLC, Craft Mind Innovations LLC, Spark Savvy Solutions LLC, Storage Magnet LLC, Storage Magnet LLC, The Empire House LLC, and Retrocube Labs LLC. This correspondence is written without prejudice save as to costs.
Right. So we're just going to go through it. We need to get all this done. So get yourself a cup of tea, hot cup of Milo, something like that, and let's have a listen.
6. We refer to the LinkedIn article published the 3rd of June, 2025, titled Pakistan Software Houseworkers, Intersys, Digitonics, Abtach You're Being Watched, LinkedIn Article 1.
Here we go.
Response. This was not the first LinkedIn article we posted about your client. This was the second. You have made critical errors in documenting the chronology as well as many other errors.
So just to reiterate, we've obviously received a 169-page cease and desist letter, and the inconsistencies that we've found, we're highlighting at the moment. They speak for themselves. I've seen a few cease and desist letters in my time, 4 in the last 2 weeks from different people. This one's not the best, and there's room for improvement, and we will highlight where you could have improved.
LinkedIn Article 1 states that the U.S. Department of Justice has unsealed an indictment naming Azneem Bilwani's company, eWorldTrade, in connection with fentanyl trafficking. U.S. Indictment .1. 8. This statement is completely false. Mr. Bilwani does not own the eWorldTrade. In fact, eWorldTrade LLC is a U.S.-based company registered in Delaware, owned and directed by an individual called Abdul Aziz Seema. Having reviewed your content in some detail, we suspect you are aware of this fact already.
Let's listen to this. Well, we've got some exhibits coming up, so let's have a listen.
Response. Abdulaziz Mohammed Yusuf Seema, also known as Abdulaziz Seema or Abdul Aziz Seema, is the husband of Asbabanu Seema and the brother of Mohammed Seema, a truck driver and logistics professional residing in Texas. Abdulaziz Seema acts as the corporate representative of eWorldTrade LLC. He is associated with numerous entities that are, in reality, beneficially owned and controlled by your client, Mr. Azneem Bilwani. On November 24, 2023, Mr. Bilwani filed a trademark application for eWorldTrade using the address 1910 Pacific Avenue, Suite 8025, Dallas, Texas 75201. The trademark application lists Azneem Bilwani as the owner and includes the following email addresses: info@eWorldTrade.com, sia@fastest.com, and ali@hakimlaw.com. See Exhibit A.
I could have a bit of conversation about this, but the exhibits speak for themselves. So once again, if you want to go to dehek.com, you'll find this information in my blog section. But you can see everything that we've just said is backed up by screenshots from government websites. And you can see what we have just mentioned here is actually true and factual. And as we've said previously, there's the receipt of that. And there is the actual screenshot that we have on the website. So this is going to go to back to the lawyers and prove our findings. But instead of doing this privately, we decided it would be nice to do it publicly. Even though they don't want this information on the internet, it will be used to prove what our point is. So here we go. Some trademark information. Case file details, classification that it's under. This is the ownership of the trademark, I assume. Case file statements, event statements, the whole 9 yards. There it is. What do you think about that? And then we list the source here if you want to verify our information. We don't want to get it wrong, do we?
Additionally, on September 15th, 2023, your client, Azneem Bilwani, filed a trademark application for Desist. The owner's address on this application is 10998 S Wilcrest Dr. Suite 150, Houston, Texas 77099. Notably, this Houston address is also used by Tixona Marketing LLC, a company organized by Abdulaziz Seema, which processes payments for businesses controlled by Mr. Bilwani, among other functions. See Exhibit B.
All right, so more evidence, more receipts, Exhibit B. So have you ever been in the courtroom like I have? You have exhibits and you put them into the court case. In this case, all this information would go off to the New Zealand High Court and we'd use this very information. But as I said, rather than keeping it private, we like to be transparent around here. So these are the receipts of the information that we've alleged, and we're backing it up with receipts that you can see. And here's the man of the moment, Azneem Bilwani. Azneem Bilwani. I'm practicing your name, mate. Sorry I can't quite get it right. I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm very dyslexic. Pronunciation isn't my favorite thing to do. But obviously gathering intel and putting it in a nice blog is my strength, as you can see. So we've got, and as I said, we were so happy today. I don't know if I can send you, I think I can. I want to show you something. I'll get, let's see, I want to show you something funny. If I can, yes, I can. There it is. Watch this. This is me in the office today when I realized that he's watching us. Look at that goofy face of mine. And there he is. He was checking us out on LinkedIn this morning, about 3 hours ago, which is a bit of a laugh. Alrighty, so let's go through jobs. So this is on his LinkedIn profile, I assume, or is this? No, this is Crunchbase. So you can see all the information is on our blog. Check it out. All the links. Everything's been thoroughly researched. Company certificates. Right, Exhibit C. I'd like to back up things.
Furthermore, the address for eWorldTrade, Suite 8025, 1910 Pacific Avenue, Dallas, Texas 75201, is shared with other companies that are owned and controlled by Mr. Bilwani. See Exhibit C.
Now, this one might give it away, just saying, but this is the front door of your office, and it's got World Trade. Yes, the company that has had its domain name seized by US authorities. So that's pretty clever. And let's carry on. I'm going to listen to all this. Sorry if it goes on a bit.
Source: Riley V. Talented Ghostwriter, Tixona Marketing LLC, 360 Digital Marketing LLC, Retrocube LLC, 123 CV 00075, District Court, D. Colorado, United States of America. Image of front door of 1910 Pacific Avenue, Suite 8025, Dallas, Texas.
And something off topic is basically a lot of these companies that I've been following scams lately, because they set themselves up with what they believe is a genuine company, it's meant to give them some sort of authenticity to being real, true, and genuine. It's quite a common thing now. So it's quite scary that these companies can actually register themselves and set up shop and then carry on doing what they've done in the past, whatever that is. You can make your own opinion on that. Let's carry on.
Ownership of these entities by Mr. Bilwani is further supported by sanctions issued by the United States Patent and Trademark Office, USPTO, against his companies for fraudulent activity.
Now remember, we've been told that we have claimed that this guy doesn't have any association with the companies. So this is evidence to prove that he does. And I'm just going to open those up because you can see all the email addresses and all the domain names. This is, this is documents, legal documents. This is proof that he owns the trademarks, and so we're not making this stuff up. We don't need to make this stuff up, but his name's all over it. It's kind of weird. But anyway, I'll carry on. I'm trying to stick to script here, Danny.
Your client, Azneem Bilwani, who I believe utilizes Abdul Aziz Seema as a frontman, has established similar arrangements with several other individuals residing in Texas. This is not conduct that a normal businessman engages in. For example, a Pakistani national named Yusra Wahid has incorporated companies at Mr. Bilwani's direction in Delaware and Texas, which have subsequently been used to process payments from victims. This includes Quick Digit Solutions LLC. Mr. Bilwani has also arranged for Shamas Kareem, also known as Shamas Kareem Dossani, son of Siraj Uddin Dossani, and Binish Kareem, mother of Shamas Kareem and wife of Siraj Uddin Dossani, to act in similar roles. In addition, Asbabanu Seema, the wife of Abdul Aziz Seema, has admitted in court to serving as a front person and setting up bank accounts on behalf of Abtach and Mr. Bilwani. The lawsuit filed by Asbabanu Seema, the wife of Abdul Aziz Seema, against Salman Yusuf was filed on her behalf by Ali Hakim.
Wow. This is why I'm reading this email, because I would not be able to pronounce those names. But now we know the family tree.
It is not simply our position that your client, Azneem Bilwani, is involved in criminal and fraudulent activities. The United States Patent and Trademark Office, USPTO, has formally named and sanctioned him for egregious fraud. Likewise, the Pakistan Federal Investigation Agency (FIA) has produced a charge sheet implicating Mr. Bilwani in a number of serious organized criminal activities. Mr. Bilwani has also been charged with bribing an FIA official to attempt to have the case against him quashed. Contrary to your assertion, these cases have not been resolved. Your client's statement that these matters have been settled in Pakistan isn't supported by evidence and does not, in itself, make it so.
So I got to say, I do feel for the lawyers. And the same, 2 years ago, I was involved in a defamation case and we won, but they were trying to sue me for $3.8 million in the New Zealand High Court. And like I said earlier on, I tried to warn the lawyers, do you really want to represent such a person? I'm asking the same question. How would you feel now if you are the lawyers and you've suddenly not realized that maybe you got a junior to prepare the cease and desist letter? But this is overwhelming evidence. And you still want to pursue this. Bring it on.
Should your client be able to produce verifiable documentation confirming that the case against him has been dismissed, we would be willing to consider a retraction. Until then, the FIA charges, which are publicly available, together with the documented allegations of bribery, remain the most current and authoritative references. Given the serious allegations of forgery and fraud involving Mr. Bilwani, we would insist on a thorough authentication of any documents he submits as evidence.
And like we see with any of our information that we've submitted, if we have mistakenly got it wrong, we will write a retraction and fix. But that's a pretty tall claim, and it speaks for itself. I don't need to say anything.
We wish to emphasize that there is significantly more evidence available, and should this matter proceed further, we will have no hesitation in sharing all relevant material with the courts in New Zealand, as well as using legal discovery to secure evidence.
Yeah, love discovery. If you don't know what that is, do a research with ChatGPT. What is discovery in a court case? It's brilliant.
Further, the indictment contained in LinkedIn Article 1 is an indictment against eWorldTrade LLC, not any individual.
Yes.
Response: yes, and Mr. Bilwani is the owner of eWorldTrade, which is an irrefutable fact. Your position that he has no direct or indirect link to eWorldTrade is an absurd lie. He owns the trademark for eWorldTrade. Your client, Mr. Bilwani, was also exposed as being the owner of the domain name eWorldTrade.com. Both these critical pieces of evidence overwhelmingly indicate that your client, Mr. Azneem Bilwani, functionally owned and controlled eWorldTrade.com, which stands indicted for trafficking of dangerous narcotics by the US DOJ.
So we're talking about drug trafficking here. How can you make... I'm speechless.
The indictment document clearly notes that an indictment is an allegation only and all defendants are assumed innocent until proven guilty. We note you do not draw your audience's attention to this pertinent fact at no stage during your 3-hour YouTube video nor in your many posts on this topic.
Oh my God, really?
Response: this is common knowledge and therefore does not require me to specifically highlight. I am entitled to comment on the indictment and to offer up my opinion, which is that your client is a serious organized crime figure running a global transnational criminal organization that stretches from Karachi, Pakistan to Dallas, Texas. This is based on a review of more than 10,000 pages worth of evidence, conversations with employees of his, and conversations with victims of his scams, as well as detailed evidence secured from accomplices who have worked closely with your client.
I've been busting scams for 4 years, and I do go after the smaller guy. I've never had the response that I have from this particular one, and I've never had as much evidence I have. And also, I'm so glad that they're in Dallas, Texas. That's all I'm going to say, because we've had dealings with Texas before, and it's been quite good for us.
For the avoidance of doubt, Mr. Bilwani has no connection either directly or indirectly to the indictment.
Sorry, but that's so funny.
Response: categorically false.
Oh, dogs here.
Included in LinkedIn Article 1 is a post you made in which you claim that all scam call centers in Pakistan are being raided and arrests are being made.
I know the answer to that, but I'm going to listen to what we've wrote and stay on script a bit.
Response: there have been raids in Pakistan as part of Operation Grey based on public news articles, and there will be more raids by Pakistani law enforcement authorities. You can ask your client if this was discussed when he met with the bosses of the other scam software houses, Burhan Mirza, Ali Arbaz Jafri, Abdul Qadir Fatani, etc., when they met to discuss how to deal with me.
Yep, they had a meeting on how to deal with Danny de Hek, the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger, and we found out about that. Operation Grey, we told people before they did the raids that it was going to happen, and they had raids. And I can't tell you much more than that at the moment. That's why I'm sticking to the script this time.
In support of the latter claim, you hyperlinked a recent article by Pro-Pakistani. The Pro-Pakistani article refers to a crackdown on cyber scammers and illegal call centers in Punjab, known as Operation Grey. The article notes foreign nationals from countries such as Vietnam and Malaysia have been arrested.
Okay.
Response: the common theme here is that Pakistan has a major fraud and transnational crime problem that is victimizing people across the globe. Your client, according to the USPTO and FIA report, sits atop a vast transnational criminal organization being run from Karachi. Your client has substantial assets in UAE, UK, US and Pakistan.
Hopefully he's got some assets here in New Zealand. Otherwise he'll have to put a lot of money up to secure my legal fees.
Despite this, your LinkedIn post comment contained LinkedIn Article 1 states that everyone getting raided and arrested can thank Azneem Bilwani, Burhan Mirza and Junaid Mansour, and their greed for this.
Okay. See.
Response: this is an honest opinion based on facts protected by free speech laws. Our journalistic sources have specifically highlighted that the most recent raids in Pakistan against scam call centers were triggered by the US DOJ indictment against eWorldTrade for trafficking of fentanyl analogues. For the avoidance of doubt, all of these highly defamatory statements are denied. Your claims are unsupported by evidence.
Here we go. There's so much evidence. I can't point a stick at it. So much evidence. What's that saying? Is I've got so much evidence you can't point a stick at it? I don't know. Anyway, let's carry on. Whoop. Response?
Response: categorically false. The evidence is overwhelming. That you'd repeat such lies beggars belief. 30 minutes of analysis would allow you to conclude that this statement is false.
Right, so I hope I'm not going to be criticized about how long this video is going, but if this does get to the courtroom, which it may, then we will need to prove what we're saying is true and factual. So we're going to go through some of the evidence that we currently have.
17. You published a further LinkedIn article on the 4th of June, 2025, entitled Azneem Bilwani, Junaid Mansour, Burhan Mirza, and Abtach Ltd exposed Karachi's digital crime syndicate. LinkedIn Article 2.318. In LinkedIn Article 2, the opening paragraphs allege fear raids, FBI and HSI involvement, Intersys, Digitonics Labs, WordSense, allegations of drug trafficking, fraud, money laundering, and the names at the center of it all: Azneem Bilwani, Mohammed Salman Yusuf, Burhan Mirza, Junaid Mansour, Faiz al-Hassan, Abdul Qadir Fatani, and more. Emphasis added. 19. LinkedIn Article 2 repeats the allegation in respect of the US indictment referred to above. A client repeats that he does not own eWorldTrade and has no relationship either directly or indirectly with eWorldTrade, the allegations nor the indictment.
However, he owns the trademark and the domain name.
Response. We have the right to comment and give our opinion on current events. Mr. Bilwani does have a relationship with eWorldTrade. See Exhibit A, B, C above and review the USPTO sanctioning of Mr. Bilwani and his associates.
So you can see we've put a lot of work into this and we've taken it very seriously.
Mr. Bilwani resides in Pakistan and confirms there are no active investigations against him either in the US or in Pakistan.
Okay.
Response. False. There are active investigations into Mr. Bilwani on multiple continents for his involvement in transnational organized crime, drug trafficking, large-scale fraud, and money laundering.
Yes. All right, let's see if we can highlight that. Here we go.
Notwithstanding, LinkedIn Article 2 wrongfully and irresponsibly states, now that federal law enforcement agencies are on the trail of eWorldTrade and Azneem Bilwani, it is only a matter of time before the money mules are arrested en masse.
Okay. So I'm going to read this paragraph, then we're going to have a short break for a second.
Response. The United States Homeland Security Investigations, FBI, and the DOJ are actively investigating eWorldTrade and Mr. Bilwani. Based on my understanding of how the DOJ works and based on information published by highly respected security researchers, I am confident of this assessment.
Yeah. Right. So I'm going to make sure that you guys are focused on this. So we're going to flip into another screen here. You can see I'm in the boxing ring. So it's time out. Ding, 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 ding. I want to stand up, show you my lovely new t-shirt. No scam. Pretty cool. I got them published on my own website. So if you want to get a no scam t-shirt, by all means, but I'm just going to take my glasses off for a second, rub my eyes. Oh, this is a big one. Had this bad cough for a while. Okay, so I want you to go like this after me. Go, rightio. Put glasses back on. All right, got the boxing round 2. We're going to go to the carry on, and we're in. Everyone ready? WorldTrademarkReview.com. Thank you, Susie. It's in the chat room. I won't look at it at the moment because I'll get distracted and get off target. But thank you so much for posting those. Right. So much preparation has gone into this this reply, and so much thought. So we want to get it right, and we want to get our message out, and also the lawyers want to reply. Here it is. So if you haven't been watching and you've just got back here, I'm Danny de Hek, aka the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. I've had about 4 cease and desist letters in the last 2 weeks. This one here made me laugh, so I've done a pretty in-depth research and backed up all the evidence and the claims that we've made, put it all into a blog, and we're going to send that up and package it off to the lawyers who are based in New Zealand who are representing Mr. Azneem Bilwani. And this is, we're just halfway through, so I just took a wee break and we're all ready to rock and roll. So let's get back into it. So these grey bits that you're seeing here, these are actually the bits that they have put in the cease and desist letter. So we're just going to get rid of a couple of those ones. Not that one. Not that one. This is the one. So this is the cease and desist letter that we're writing a reply to. And we, as they said at the start, private and confidential, not for publication. So we did take my address out of there. And if you go through here, we've taken out their phone numbers as well. But you can see this is a 169-page cease and desist letter telling us that we're going to get ourselves in trouble if we don't stop exposing Azneem Bilwani. So let's carry on. Hope you enjoyed the micro break there. I did. I'm fresher and back to normal.
LinkedIn article 2 also alleges further baseless connections between Mr. Bilwani and connections to drug trafficking. Based on customs records I've analyzed totally public, I found several shipments between Azneem Bilwani companies such as BS Garments Private Limited and Nuhas Recycling LLC incorporated by Abdulaziz Seema.
Okay, so let's have a response to that. That's quite a big response, so we'll do it paragraph by paragraph, but we've got to get these out. Anyone in their right mind can just listen to this, would know that we've done our research.
Response: eWorldTrade LLC is owned by Mr. Bilwani, with Abdulaziz Seema serving as the corporate representative for the company. Mr. Bilwani is also the owner of BS Garments Private Limited, which has shipped goods to Nuhas Recycling LLC, an entity incorporated by Abdulaziz Seema. This commercial relationship, evidenced by shipping records, further demonstrates a direct connection between Mr. Bilwani and Mr. Seema.
God, this information is good. You would swear that we're working with the FBI and Homeland Security, wouldn't you?
You have claimed that there is no direct or indirect relationship between your client, Mr. Bilwani, and eWorldTrade. However, publicly available customs data indicates that goods are regularly shipped between companies owned or controlled by Mr. Bilwani and Abdulaziz Seema, specifically between Karachi and Texas. This contradicts your assertion and establishes a clear business link between your client and eWorldTrade.
Oh, dearie me. Oh dear, I don't want to tell everyone. Well, I'm just telling the whole world about your business, how your business works now, aren't we, eh?
Additionally, we would like to clarify that there was no allegation of drug trafficking in the reference text. The point made was solely that a company incorporated by Abdulaziz Seema in Texas and a company owned by Mr. Bilwani in Pakistan have been engaged in shipping goods between Karachi and Texas, contradicting your claim that there is no connection. This conclusion is based entirely on public customs data.
Yeah, so no connection is not quite right there, is it? I've got a, oh, I hope I haven't scratched my glasses now. Anyway, no connection. Can't see without my glasses. You have to wait until I clean them. I have got a mark on my glasses. Does anyone want to, would be a good time now for people to support me and buy me some new glasses, but I have got a scratch on my glasses. All right. Anyway, back to the glasses. All right. So this is also a good time to remind you that you need to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And there's a box that's going to pop up. I should have done that when we did the micro break, really, shouldn't we? So we'll carry on in a second. And also, I always tell everybody, if you do subscribe to the YouTube channel, because I'm not doing this for clicks, I'm doing this to help Pakistani people out, but I always like to give something back. So Sadie, she cleans your window screen for you if you subscribe, and that's brilliant. Thank you, Sadie. Right. Alrighty, so now let's carry on. So now the LinkedIn article they're going on about, let's read step by step. We've made some claims and now we're going to make some proof.
LinkedIn article 2 also states an individual by the name of Isa Faraqui should be concerned about meeting the fate of arrest, stating that Azneem Bilwani always looks out for number one and doesn't think twice about throwing people under the bus.
Ooh, it sounds mean and vicious. I tell you what, when I was in Bangladesh, throwing people under the bus has new meaning, just saying. But yeah, there's lots of buses in Pakistan.
Response: Isa Faraqui is an ex-employee of Mr. Bilwani. She worked for eWorldTrade LLC and as an executive at Abtach Intersys. See Exhibit H. On November 27, 2017, 2 press releases were put out by Reckon Media LLC, a company owned by Mr. Bilwani, that mentions eWorldTrade would be represented by Miss Isa Faraqui and Mr. Sibtin Taki.
It's kind of funny in a way. I'll just open those two links so you can see. But is this what you call self-publishing? When you own the newspaper and you do your own promotion? Maybe it is. There we go. So article number 1, read it to your heart's content or find my blog and read that. Go down to this one. Oh, need a faster website to host. I could recommend Google services for fast website hosting, just saying, but this one here is taking a wee while to load. We might have to come back to that one. A little boy waits, and it's prnewswire.com. News releases, eWorldTrade. Maybe he's taking it off. He doesn't want it on my website. Come on, let's try again. We'll hit another hit. Nope, very slow. It will load. It looks like it's going to load, but it's just on a slow boat from China. No offense to that. Oh, there it goes. We're away now. Oh, I don't like doing that. Just get rid of the cookie. Accept all. How do you get rid of that? Manage policies. I hate when you have to accept people's cookies and you don't want to. Anyway, there's the proof that these articles are online, and you can go click on those and do it your own way. So let's go down to next.
Direct quote from the press release. The platform is being represented by expert business trade consultants, Ms. Isa Ferraqui and Mr. Sibtintaki. Both Ms. Ferraqui and Mr. Sibtintaki were employed by Mr. Bilwani at this time.
Oh, well, there is a connection then. So here's two articles explaining what we said, proving that. So maybe you need to, if they haven't got the information right, maybe you need to go back to your own newspaper and update that information. Exhibit H. There we go. Look, we're holding up signs here of World Trade connecting businesses globally. And that's a post that you can see on eWorldTrade website. Isn't that great? And we come down for a bit more. Here's another one. eWorldTrade connecting businesses globally. Don't know who that guy is, but he's from Turkey because his name badge says so. And let's have a look. So you can go check that out on Facebook. Now, I haven't got a Facebook account because they reported me as a scammer in Facebook's AI services. But I will go there and show you what happens if you don't have a Facebook account and you click on something. See, you get this here and you find the information, and you can go through here and find it. But I can't do that for very long before that button comes back up again. Anyway, let's carry on. So that's where that came from. I will read that paragraph just to reiterate what I'm doing to make sure I reiterate. Can't even say it properly, so I'll stop.
Abtach Intersys Isa Ferraqui executive representing eWorldTrade at trade show in Dubai, November 2017. Abdulaziz Seema is functionally an employee of Azneem Bilwani, but the cease and desist letter sent on behalf of your client has implicated Abdulaziz Seema in a fentanyl analog trafficking conspiracy. The mere fact that your client would implicate Abdulaziz Seema in drug trafficking proves a point that Mr. Bilwani looks out for number one. That is, puts his welfare above all others. Other employees we believe your client will soon blame for the criminal activity at Intersys may be Mohammed Sadiq Bal, Maria Siddiqui, internally known as Isa Ferraqui 2.0, Hassan Amin, based in UAE, Majid Hassan.
Yep, so he's quite happy to throw other people under the bus, as long as he keeps his own butt safe by the sounds of it.
The bizarre lawsuit filed by Abdulaziz Seema's wife Asbabanu Seema, wherein she implicates Salman Yusuf, Isa Ferraqui, and others in criminal activity, is likely another indicator that your client Mr. Bilwani looks out for number one. That is, puts his welfare above all others, and figuratively speaking does not think twice about throwing other people under the bus. That is, implicate them in serious criminal activity that he himself is responsible for. As mentioned earlier, there's also a highly unusual document created by Salman Yusuf, which I have in my possession, where he admits to having committed criminal acts. This, I believe, was signed by Salman Yusuf under coercion by your client.
Yeah, so that's that document. I think we've already brought that one up before, but you can see there's exhibit E's, signed documents. We've got the receipts. That's my point. I might just have to read that one again. If I
For the
already.
avoidance of doubt, all of these highly defamatory statements are denied. The claims are unsupported by evidence, yet you continue to publish them.
Oh my God, well, show us the evidence.
Response. We have a right to comment on current events and give our honest opinion.
Yeah.
We have evidence to back up statements made.
Yep. So now we've got some other claims which are quite big, and I'm going to read them all at once because it's just easier. Oops, a daisy. And you got to do this when you're replying to the lawyers. Don't want to miss anything.
25. On the 8th of June, 2025, you published a further LinkedIn article titled Busted, Amazon, Publishing Scam, Roman Siddiqui, Junaid Mansour, Munib Khan, Hassan Abbas and Company exposed. LinkedIn article 3.4. 26. LinkedIn article 3 claims that a client Mr. Bilwani is being investigated by the FBI and Homeland Security for charges including alleged drug trafficking. 27. There is no evidence supporting this claim. Mr. Bilwani firmly denies that there are any active investigations in which he is involved with. 28. The publication of this defamatory material is harmful and completely irresponsible. 29. For the avoidance of doubt, all of these highly defamatory statements are denied.
Okay, just deny everything. Deny everything. Well, here we go. Let's show the receipts.
Response. Mr. Bilwani is under investigation by HSI, Dodge, the FBI and several other investigative agencies in the US. He can deny this all he wants. Furthermore, we also believe he is being investigated by Pakistani law enforcement, the FIA.
Just saying. Okay, yeah, so you can deny it, but He may have to wake up one morning and wonder what those men in black are doing all around him. I'm just going to read half that at a time, and then we'll get back to it. Listen to this.
30. At all times, Mr. Bilwani's name in LinkedIn articles 1, 2, and 3 are highlighted in bold. 31. In naming Mr. Bilwani distinctly in the title of the LinkedIn article 3, naming Mr. Bilwani in his hyperlink keywords, and naming Mr. Bilwani in the text at numerous points in LinkedIn articles 1, 2, and 3. You also directly associates Mr. Bilwani with the following accusations, embedded in both articles: building scam websites, operating fraudulent software houses.
Yeah. That's what he does, perhaps. I don't know. Might have got it wrong. Let's carry on.
Mobile app development, logo design fraud, customer service impersonation, blackmail, based upselling operations, fake book publishing, fraudulent trademark registration, stolen identities, pushing people to suicide, among others. 32. In the LinkedIn articles you also heavily refer to a global scam empire, to which Mr. Bilwani is alleged to be the pulling the strings of. 33. All of the above allegations are denied in full. Further, you has not provided any evidence in support of these allegations. Instead, your LinkedIn articles make vague and unsupported, broad brush allegations of scams and frauds in respect of companies a client has no involvement in. 34. Such reckless and irresponsible publishing of this seriousness cannot be allowed to stand.
I'm a wee bit insulted. Calling me reckless. Never.
Response. The evidence to the contrary is overwhelming. We are happy to produce it in a court of law if you wish to pursue this.
Too right. Certainly are. That you cannot intimidate me. Do you hear me? Good.
35. In a LinkedIn post dated the 13th of June, 2025, you then published the following. Friends from Pakistan, I am working on some big investigative pieces about the scam software houses of Pakistan which victimize Americans and other country nationals. I will be publishing these explosive exposes soon. I am just getting warmed up. In the meantime, if you have information on suspected illicit activities by Burhan Mirza, Junaid Mansour, Azneem Bilwani, Muhammad Uraib Bilwani, Aram Bilwani, Sadiq Bal, Abdul Qadir Fatani, Salman Ghaznavi, Sherjul Parvez, Akash Ramchandani, Shoaib.
So, yeah, I want to comment, but I'm not going to. But I'm just going to say I'm pretty sure I can ask for any information on any. I could have put the Queen's or the King's name in there and asked for any information about the King. It doesn't matter. I'm allowed to ask.
Ahmed Sheikh, Usman Regaisha, Umama J. Siddiqui, Abbas Mala, Maria Siddiqui, Stafford, Aslam Perwaiz, Omar Ahmed Siddiqui, Roman Siddiqui, Faisal Hassan, Faisal Qadir, Yasufi, Imran Muhammad Crystalite, which scams employees or any of the other usual suspects. Please send it to me. I'll keep your identity secure. I'll verify the information and I'll publish it here and on https://www.dehek.com. I'll also pass the information on to my law enforcement partners, which include the FBI, Homeland Security Investigations, Scotland Yard, RCMP, Australian Federal Police, Europol, and others.
Yeah, and we will, and we have, and we will continue to do so. We're just reading these. We're going to get through them.
Emphasis added. 36. This post directly names members of Mr. Bilwani's immediate family. 37. You have no grounds to directly name Mr. Bilwani's family members. We consider it egregious enough that you continue to name Mr. Bilwani and his alleged ties to suspected illicit activities while having no evidence of those accusations. 38. It is clear from reviewing your posts that you do not have any information or evidence against Mr. Bilwani or his family, and you are hoping to crowdsource that information by undertaking online phishing expeditions to your wider audience.
Oh my goodness. I just, honestly, guys, I feel sorry for the lawyers who are actually representing this guy, because I don't think they prepared very well before we got this. Please do not put this public information, which is now public, of course. And also you can download a copy of the PDF from the blog if you want, and you can read it, and you can rebroadcast it and do whatever you like. Because what we're about to do will really kick this one over the try line, as they say in rugby.
Response. Mr. Bilwani's family members are involved in his businesses, therefore it is fair to post their names. A victim of eWorldTrade shared an invoice where he was instructed to pay via wire transfer to a UK company named 360 Digi Marketing Limited. Mr. Bilwani was a director of this corporation until 1/May/2022. His son Mohammed Uraib Azneem Bilwani was director until 31/March/2023. His wife Erin Bilwani was director until 25/Feb/2022. The current director Mohammed Sadiq Iqbal is also the CEO of Mr. Bilwani's company in Pakistan, Intersys Limited, formerly known as Abtach Ltd. Mr. Iqbal left an interesting artifact on his LinkedIn profile photo showing the logo of eWorldTrade in the background. Mr. Bilwani's wife Erin is listed as a person of significant control of 360 Digi Marketing Limited. See Exhibit D.
Alrighty, so let's have a look at the evidence. Evidence speaks for itself. So we can come through here. We're looking at the invoice paid by a company. Was it 350, 360? I think it's 360, isn't it? Yep, 360. Payment, paid, signature, eWorldTrade, victim report. Exhibit D continued. There's the receipts of the company, who owned the company at the time. It's a family affair. It's don't need a rocket science degree. As I often say, it's not rocket science, it's de Hek science. Okay, so I've just gone and got a random person and called him a scammer. Or have I got the receipts to prove it? How can you respond to this one when you see the evidence here, saying that this guy has nothing to do with what I'm alleging, when we have the receipts? It's just bully tactics. They call it gag writs in New Zealand. They throw money at people like me thinking we can't defend ourselves. Well, I can defend myself, and I will defend myself. And I've done it in the past, and I'll do it again and again and again, because I fight the battles of all these people who are working in these software houses. The average wage in Pakistan is $4 US a day. They entice these young people to work for $2,000 a month, and then they hold back their wages until they meet their sales quota. I'm not going to get into it, but I just want these exhibits to be on the screen. I want people to know that they can go to my blog. They can download this document that we received from Azneem Bilwani's lawyers in New Zealand. And we have the receipts, and we haven't even scratched the surface. We have been investigating this for a while. This is the biggest thing that I've ever taken on, because of the, we're talking 1,000 websites out there. Like these guys have been watching and swarming all over my LinkedIn profile. We'll connect that one, eh? Let's go with them. I don't know. When do they want to connect with me? We've got people who are, it's just crazy, Right, stay on target. Okay, so here we took down the photo. He took down his photo this week, but we managed to snag the screenshot. So that's just crazy, isn't it? So he's taken his photo down. We've also had other people who have, there's a lady who changed the company she used to work for to a very similar name company, trying to hide it, but we've managed to snap all those screenshots as well. So it's good. All right. So, hey, Jelly Snack, nice to see you here in the chat room.
43.6 at around 18 hours, 0 minutes, and 0 seconds. You openly say I may not have all my information correct all the time, but insist on maintaining the line that your job is to name and shame. You also put the onus on the defamed party to prove to your satisfaction that they have been wrongly named in your content. This is not how the law works, nor even basic journalism.
Well, I think it's pretty good journalism, because isn't a journalist meant to, report, expose, create awareness? Doing that, aren't I? And I went to the school with dyslexia. I don't know if you know anything about people who have dyslexia, like Richard Branson, Tommy Hilfiger. And even Einstein, they reckon he was dyslexic. We do things differently. We reinvent the wheel sometimes because we don't know the wheel's around. So I'm a journalist, whether you like it or not. And I will keep reporting scams and scammers. That's what I do. And I might not do it conventionally, but I'm doing a good job at the moment.
Response. The timestamps you've highlighted from the video are wrong. The video is not 18 hours long. There are several other factual inaccuracies in the cease and desist, along with outright lies. The transcript of the video you have generated is also riddled with errors too numerous to point out here. Here are some other links Mr. Bilwani has with eWorldTrade. Saeed Rizwan Ali is an executive at Abtach Ltd, owned by your client, in Dubai, and was previously employed at Intersys Abtach in Karachi, Pakistan. He has represented eWorldTrade at trade shows. Notably, the booth at the trade show prominently displays that eWorldTrade is a product service of Intersys Limited. See Exhibit E.
Right, Exhibit E. So here we are. Look at that, trade show. Pioneering the era of smart solutions. Intersys Limited. World Trade. Aztec. Look at the names, guys. Oh, they're all over this. You can have a look at LinkedIn, but we're not going to bring up LinkedIn again. Exhibit E continues. Here's another photo. So we've got the receipts, guys. And look, you can see the hashtags. Trade show. And there he is. Technical sales, planning and development relationship manager. I'm just going through this so we can document this live. Once again, you can go to my website. You can search for Intersys. You'll find this blog. You can download this PDF that we're looking at. Everything is public. This blog that we're doing was told to be not to be published. They told me they didn't want their letter here. They said it's private and confidential, not for publication. Well, we're putting a finish to that. We're making everything that we have public. Well, not everything, but enough. And that's what we're doing here. We've got the receipts, and they're claiming that their man that they're representing has no association to these companies. And you can see they clearly do. So no association. No is a short word that means a lot, but absolutely crazy. Exhibit E continued. More photos. Hello, hello, hello. How you going, young fella? Nice looking suit there, mate. Source, Facebook. Just recently. Okay, we'll read this paragraph.
Majid Hassan is an executive at Intersys Limited and has travelled to trade shows on behalf of Intersys and eWorldTrade. See Exhibit F.
Okay, Exhibit F coming up. Visit my website. Here he is. Intersys Limited. Oh, dearie me. What are you going to do with me, eh? Surely this must be like, you'd be watching this on your big TV screen going, what's this guy doing? He's exposing my company and everything that I worked for all these years. You know, fentanyl trafficking. Imagine that. Imagine being exposed for that. Yeah. So you can see, pretty hard. Pretty hard. Look at this. Vice President, Digital Services. Assistant Vice President. LinkedIn's a wonderful thing, isn't it? Source, LinkedIn. All right, what's this paragraph? We're up to Exhibit G.
Syed Zuhaib Hassan Wasti, executive at eWorldTrade, pictured at a trader show displaying eWorldTrade as a product brand of Intersys Limited. See Exhibit G.
Right, there we go. He gets around, doesn't he? It's a nice pinstripe suit there, isn't it? It's good. Got some brochures. Whoop, QR codes. Intersys Limited. That's on the Facebook page. Maybe you could go through and clean up those Facebook sites where you're, that you've got your evidence on, because it's quite handy for us. Exhibit. Oh, is that I? L? I don't know. I always get those mixed up. L, I, and capital I is something that really plays with me. Here we go. Look at that. Exhibit I continued. Another photo. So it's pretty good. We've got some good evidence here. I think we're going to have a hard job proving that Azneem Bilwani isn't actually connected here. pretty hard to say he's got no association with the company. Let's have another one. We're down to J, so it must be IJ, isn't it? Is that the alphabet?
Ahmed Siddiqui, Vice President of Intersys, pictured promoting Indictment's global Dubai event in October 2024 that he attended to represent eWorldTrade. See Exhibit J.
Right. Now, just in case you're wondering, I don't know the alphabet, and you probably think I'm joking. I don't. When I say I don't know the alphabet, I know A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and all this sort of stuff, but I don't know what comes before M or N. I don't know where I comes in the alphabet and all things like that. So J, Exhibit J, I know that's somewhere near the start. We've got a whole alphabet of exhibits here. So we've got the receipts, and we back up what we say. And you can see all the people involved. So that's it. Well, I've done my job.
After this point, your letter makes so many errors that it is not feasible to respond point by point.
Yeah. We've done enough. I mean, you'd have to be stupid to claim that we don't have our facts right. Look, this is my blog, and this was my picture, as they say, for today. I'm just going back to the start. I'll just make sure I've got that at 100% so we can fit it all in. The start of this blog was me punching somebody. I'm not a violent sort of guy, but sometimes when you go after these criminals, it is quite scary because they've got more money than a bull can shit normally. And they call them gag rats here in New Zealand. And last time, as I said, somebody tried to sue me in the New Zealand High Court for $3.8 million. I have the best lawyers that money can buy. Literally, the best defamation lawyers. Last time, I got a cease and desist letter. I did a 4-hour, 47-minute, 19-second long video in reply to the lawyers, which I actually personally knew the company really, really well. And this is what they used. They were going to use in the courtroom in the New Zealand High Court to defend the accusations that I made. This blog and the purpose of this whole video is to basically put a transparent message out to these thugs. Remember, they said this cease and desist letter is private and confidential or not for publication. Well, we publicized it. Your 169-page letter that has got lots of inaccuracies in it should really have been done by a junior, not the junior, somebody in the office, because it's not going to cut the mustard. It's not going to stop the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger naming and shaming anyone that is running or promoting a Ponzi scheme or a scam. Now, let's stop there. If we go to the website and you click on my Contact Us button, you will see that we have a form on here where you can fill out stuff anonymously. We also, if you go to my LinkedIn page, which you'll find off the top of dehek.com, you'll find that we've also, if you search for any of our posts, you'll see that we use hashtags, and you'll find a form on there where you can submit information anonymously. I would strongly encourage you, if you have information on Azneem Bilwani, please do act now. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. Don't wait. We want to charge as an army, let us go, to combat the wicked foe, is what we want to do. We want to act now. We want to act wisely. So provide us information. Tell us the software house that you're working in. Tell us who runs it. Reach out to me on LinkedIn. Reach out to me on WhatsApp. As I say, if you go to my webpage, my website, along the top of the website, you can see all my social media. I've been working on this for hours and hours and hours of my time. This has stopped me from fighting other scams at the moment. I haven't replied to this because of fear. I have no fear. I don't care what the world throws at me. I'm here to name and shame anyone running or promoting a Ponzi scheme or a scam. Azneem Bilwani, come after me in the High Court. I would relish the day. I would love to show you all the evidence that we have on your umbrella of companies, so to speak. We're here to fight the battle for the Pakistani people who've been exploited This disgusts me. Come and stop me, because I'm going to try my best to stop you exploiting your own people and other entrepreneurial people. I'm Danny de Hek, aka the Crypto Ponzi Scheme Avenger. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me, and we'll see you in the next video.